guys. Welcome to the podcast. We are back.
Back with the Kick and the Punch.
Kick and Punch podcast.
So
Kick
you
and
know we're
Punch
talking
podcast.
about.
Yes,
Talking
sir.
about people kicking and punching.
Yes, sir. All the
So-
time. That's what we do here.
That's what we do here. So
Yeah. So
some
Man, so-
interesting news, huh?
yeah, man.
There's a lot of stuff that's been
shizzle
going on. I feel like just
a lot
this
of
past
stuff on the
couple
frying
days.
pan.
It's everywhere, man. It's like we got boxing news, we got MMA news,
So we got a lot of recaps to go over. A lot of stuff.
we
As
got
far as this
corporation news.
weekend. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
We got different things
Oh,
going
yeah.
on.
Even though, like, by the time this comes out, it'll be a little bit on the late side. But for our channel, yeah. So PFL just got the Bellator.
Oh,
They just
okay.
finished-
So you want to talk about the PFL acquisition?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, that's the oldest little bit of news that's come out.
That's probably the
You know.
biggest. Yeah.
And like, so, I mean, they just got a whole bunch of a flood of fighters. They got all the fighters from Bellator coming over after the 301 event. And, you know, obviously there was a lot of stuff that happened there. And they have their own champions. But probably the biggest news coming out of there is that in 2024, they're all going to be fighting sometime the PFL champions. So that's some good news.
That's what I was wondering. Is it going to be, for them to get in there, is it going to be champions versus champions to
Yeah.
decide who has the final belt? Because I was thinking, I was like, there's definitely a roster.
That's
of
the
PFL
part
champions.
that's the part that like still gets me because I'm still trying to get the understanding as to how it's going to work. But supposedly they're going to be fighting. It's going to be champion versus champion, but for what belt? More than likely, it's going to be something in the PFL, probably, since that's like the umbrella organization.
Yeah,
but-
they're not going to have Bellator as the name under the PFL.
Well, so there's a
no
few
way.
different things coming out. Like they're gonna have like a Bellator International Series kind of thing, where it's like a separate thing where they'll be fighting for those titles or something like that. I'm not 100% clear on like all the information on that, but that's why I'm saying like this whole. I'd like to see how the 2024 like PFL champion versus champion, Bellator champions is gonna do, because like, you know, with the PFL the championship that just wrapped up, they were squaring off a bunch of these guys, you know. So there's a bunch of interesting fights there.
Well,
that
that's
are-
the thing.
that
Does
could
Francis
happen.
Ngannou get the heavyweight championship title fight as his PFL debut? Let me see.
Well, I don't think so. Because, you know, with Francis, you know, Francis got a special contract, so you know,
Yeah.
I don't
that's the
think he'll be
thing.
fighting Renan Ferreira anytime soon.
You don't think so?
I don't think anytime soon. I think he should. Not that he
Box?
should. Yeah, he should box.
Yeah. You got to make that.
He got to make that cheddar, baby. Yes, the cheddar, baby.
Yeah.
But right now the PFL, I think if anything, they should have some kind of, you know, they should do the PFL champion versus champions, you know, with the
Yeah.
Bellator guys, and you know, see what happens there, because like Bellator has their own. I mean, yeah. Who's right now the Bellator champion
That's the guy.
for heavyweight?
There's a couple champions that just got.
Oh,
after
Ryan
Bellator.
Bader.
He's
So,
heavyweight champion?
Yeah, he's the heavyweight champion. Yeah, now that I just remembered, yeah, he just beat. I forget. I think it was Moldavsky. But yeah, he's the Bellator champion.
So he would face
Renan
Ferreira.
Renan Ferreira.
Renan?
Yeah, and yeah, so that's a good fight there, right there. You know,
I don't know. That guy's huge, man.
but Ryan Bader's, you know, he knows what he's doing in there. What you
He's
mean?
good, but he's a little, you know.
I mean, he's
on the
older side,
you
but, I
know,
mean, it's
I'm
still-
not saying that his best years are behind him, but you know
Yeah.
how hard, especially like you don't know when that fight happens. Does that fight happen a year from now? Maybe like a year and a half. You know,
I don't think it'll be that long,
maybe not. And
because
when was that last fight?
PFL
for the
got a-
championship?
and no shade on the PFL. I love the product and everything. I just think that the cards need to, you know,
Shade has been thrown.
not really, dude. I'm just saying, like, they just need to just speed up the show a little bit, because, dude, they had, I think, 11 fights and for the main event or something like that, and or like in total, and it took like over 8 hours.
Damn, 8 hours?
Yeah, it was like an all-day event, dude. And like honestly, yeah, like some of those fights, man, they were long, bro. They were, and then like it was just a lot of the stuff in between. So they just need to learn how to chop it down a little bit. They could learn a thing or two from the UFC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
I'm trying to say that the production ain't there.
yeah, they just need to work a little bit on the production.
It's hard
That's
to
all.
have a good production though, man. Like I've seen a bunch of boxing productions, and then UFC. To be honest, I'm not even biased here. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but obviously I probably am because UFC is probably my favorite organization.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But they put
that's
on
the
one of the cleanest shows, the most watchable at least.
Of course, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like they have a lot of extra fat that they can trim, off the PFL cards.
Because sometimes they'll be talking and they'll just talk and talk and talk.
It's
and
a lot of
it feels
informational stuff, and I don't know if it's setting up for the next fight, whatever it is. But it's like I said, they just need to work on a little bit of the presentation of
I think it's
everything.
just having different angles to be able to talk about things in an interesting way. Because
Yeah.
I think that's what the UFC does. They talk about, they'll have the fighter interview before, so they have information about him before.
Yeah.
And then they'll be able to talk about his record. And then, like I said, what he said in the fighter interview, how he's feeling in the camp, what his coaches are thinking about how he's feeling.
Yeah.
If he's had any injuries or if anybody they'll probably try to keep that concealed, but that stuff comes out either way.
But it's just like, it's still like the product just needs to be. Now that they have the Bellator in there, I hope next year they can really, get that show nice and tight where like it's just fight, a little bit of fights, then a little bit of information in between, then because they have a lot of fighters now. You know what I'm saying, and I'm sure that they're gonna have a lot of matchups.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. Is do you think it's gonna be they're gonna take the whole entire roster?
Yeah, they got the whole roster.
But I'm saying you don't think they're gonna get rid. I feel like they'll probably.
Of course, they're
some
gonna
people.
have to. I mean, they're gonna for the guys that are inactive and stuff like that. Obviously, some of those guys probably gonna get a chance.
So people are probably
fight or
leaving.
two. And then some guys are probably not gonna either not gonna fight or maybe even gonna try their hand at maybe like a contender series fight. You know what I'm saying?
They could do
that's
that.
still out there.
It's
and
possible.
if they're coming from
or
Bellator,
they could even go to one.
Look, one championship is out there. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Yeah.
probably offering some good money. So
That's
you
the
got to
big
think
thr-
about
that's
those.
the big three right now. The PFL, Bellator. Now it's it's that joint mixture.
Yeah.
One championship in UFC.
Yeah. But then, so let's just give a rundown of the champions that won on the PFL World Series Championship for 2023. So we had the first champ that won was Jesus Pinedo, and he beat Braga, and that was a pretty good fight. He was one of the guys that got one of the KOs.
What weight was it?
Featherweight. So he's going to be fighting Patricio Pitbull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's
All
going to be pretty interesting.
Patricio cut down to 135 in his last fight, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. But no, I think no, because he was 145 champ. Oh yeah, because he faced Sergio Pettis. That's right.
Exactly, and he
Yeah, and he lost that. But
he
he was
cut
still
way too much
he
weight.
was still the 145 champ though.
Yeah, but to go to 135, after being 145 and 155.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, you can't do that.
Let's give a shout out to Blon Brunson making his PFL debut, getting his first win in there.
I have a question about this performance.
You
'Cause
saw
he
it?
dominated, obviously, right?
Yeah, it was. He had a little bit of some tricky moments in there.
If he beat Ray Borg, right? That's who he faced, Ray Borg, correct?
No.
No,
Roy Cooper.
Ray Cooper, sorry, my bad. Ray Cooper, like this, Ray Cooper was a former champion, no?
Yeah, in PFL.
In PFL. What does that say about the level of competition in the PFL versus the UFC? Do you think that says anything?
I don't think it says much because because there was points in that fight.
Blunson?
Blunson.
Derek Blunson?
Derek Blunson. He was having a little bit of trouble with Ray Cooper. He was definitely when there was moments in that fight where if it wouldn't have been for some clinching that Derek did.
Yeah.
And he was able to obviously dominate in the wrestling. Dude, there was points where it was getting a little sketchy for Derek. So,
But you also, did you not say earlier that you think they could have stopped the fight? Were you talking about that fight? Or that it went too
Uh,
long or something?
no,
No, you were talking about the other thing.
Maybe that was another
Yeah,
one.
I was confused.
But for that fight, yeah, I just felt like Brunson had a good performance, but he definitely needs to work on some things like the cardio. I don't know, those guys in the PFL, man, they're no joke. Like that dude Ray Cooper, he gave him and I just want to put this out there. I'm not 100%. Is it Ray or Roy?
I think it might be Roy.
I think it's Roy Cooper.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's funny either way.
But yeah, let's just give a shout out to Brunson. Kayla Harrison, she got a win over Aspen Ladd.
I feel like that was expected, though, to be honest.
I think it was, but
I didn't see Aspen Ladd going to do nothing in that.
But I didn't expect. I thought Kayla would get the finish at some point, though. So that was the only thing that was a little disappointing because her next potential competition could be Chris Cyborg. So if you think about that fight, Chris Cyborg, she's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is a problem in all the striking department, like definitely in the striking department. I don't feel like Kayla's striking is quite there. She's really good in the wrestling. She's a judo specialist, of course, but yeah, I just feel like
you don't know how that fight goes.
Yeah, that might be a tough fight for
I don't
Kayla.
know, man. Kayla Harris is big and strong.
Because Larissa Pacheco, I mean, she won her fight, but she also is having problems, and I think Chris Cyborg goes in there for 145 and dominates both of them, to be honest. And if she don't got to cut, because that's another thing that was a weird fight too for Kayla. It was at 150. I'd really like to see her at 145 or 135. One of the two.
You
because
think she could make? She was talking about. I saw her talking about making 135 with somebody, and she was like, "Nobody wants to do that."
Well, 100%. But the thing is that there's no fighters at 145 or
135.
UFC had Amanda Nunes as the 145 champ for the longest time, defending it against nobody. And I mean, come on.
Come on.
In the other organizations, there's at least some 145ers. Come on, Kayla, come down to 145. Or come down to 135.
That's a good weight, 145. I don't know if she can make 135.
But I just think that...
You think she could make 135, yo? She's big as fuck.
I just think that she just needs to go for it. I don't think it's so much that. I don't think she's that big.
What? Really?
I mean, I think she's thick, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. She's a big lady.
Yeah, but I think if she puts in the
she
work...
tries to get to 135. But that's the question.
I mean, dude, she's a two-time PFL championship.
At what weight, though?
Was it 155? It might have been 155. I'm not sure. Or 140. I don't know.
I think it's 155 or something.
I'm not 100% sure, but
145 maybe. We'll give her 145. But
I just think that she needs to stay at either at 145 and just chill there, and because it might have been just like that short notice because she was supposed to fight Julia Budd, so it might have just been a short notice thing. And Aspen Ladd, it was a catch weight of 150.
Maybe,
but
I don't know, man. I guess I don't know how that Chris Cyborg fight would go with her either, because on the hands, obviously who got the hands. That's Cyborg.
That's what I'm saying.
But then on the ground, who got it there. So if Kayla Harrison would be able to take down Chris Cyborg, that fight could end, man. I mean, maybe she wouldn't be able to finish her, right?
Yeah.
But she might be able to hold her down.
I just feel like, with her last fight being a loss, her first loss, and it was against Larissa Pacheco, which she had beat 2 times before that. She's in this weird place right now, and then she was having some mental health issues or something like that from last year, and she had a lot on her plate or something from an interview I saw. But I mean, I just feel like that's her competition. She's got some tough competition in Chris.
You're not sure what's next for Kayla Harrison, is what you're saying.
I mean, she was calling out Chris Cyborg.
Yeah, I heard her even talking about the UFC.
I think she could go to the UFC too, but I don't think that they would want her at 145.
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think we need to see her somewhere else.
Maybe they would want her at 145 because that would revive that division.
Yeah, I mean, But moving on, Impa Kasanganay beat Josh Silveira.
Yeah,
becoming the 205 PFL champ.
The champion.
Yeah, that was a pretty long and.
That was a grueling battle.
Yeah, grueling battle because he was all over Josh, and Josh just lost just lost. The thing was about and obviously all title fights are 5 rounds. The problem is that when you got 5 or 6 of them, it makes for a long night. So you know what I'm saying, and they try to do it all in one night. So that's probably one of the reasons
It's
why
the end of the season.
yeah they do it towards the end. So
Yeah. But I don't think that's the other thing though. I don't think most PFL productions are that long or that drawn out. You think about it, because this is the end of
well
season.
they do it for
everybody
they do it for like the whole year. It's like it's
But I'm
like a
saying,
year
how
round thing.
long? Do you know how long, more or less, a regular card is?
5, 6, 7 fights tops. It's just that now they didn't have that much of a roster like they're gonna have.
Yeah.
They're gonna have much more of a roster now.
They'll have more interesting fights because even the championship fights alone sound pretty. They sound pretty enticing. You got Ryan Bader versus Renan Ferreira, possibly Chris Cyborg versus Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, and then
Um,
see, look, Impa
Who's
would
205 champ?
Vadim Nemkov
Nemkov
and
versus Kasanganai?
Kasanganai. I don't know. Vadim is a mean man, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like some of these guys in Bellator are no joke. Like you know what I'm saying. Like, and that's the thing. Like, see, that's where does that put Johnny Eblin? Because Johnny Eblin is a 185 champ, and PFL doesn't have a 185 division, which kind of sucks because there's a lot of 185ers.
Why wouldn't they have a 185?
Don't know.
Would they go to 170 to
Either 170 or 205. So either one of those guys could fight,
What? Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's a
I
little
know
bit
that.
weird. And then Impa was even calling out Francis. Did you see this?
He don't want those problems.
He don't want those.
Nobody wants those
Yeah,
problems.
I don't think even Henan wants them problems. I mean, they want that paycheck though.
They want that paycheck.
They want that
'cause
$2
he
million.
also- Remember, because he made that. Yeah, because he made that deal. He's like, well, if I fight in here, the other person's gonna get paid like $2 million or something.
Yeah, so that's some good stuff,
So you obviously are like, yo, I want that Francis, but then it's like you said, at this point, it's like, yo, just box a couple bit and make real cash for a second,
Yeah,
then come back, because this man could really be a champ,
seriously,
like a boxing champion.
seriously. So I just think Impa needs to focus more maybe on this next fight. Vadim Nemkov is like the new gosh, why am I drawing a blank on such a Fyodor? He's like the new Fyodor Emelianenko.
You mean Fedor?
Fyodor, Fedor. I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of
Oh,
different ways they say it.
You're trying to say
the
like the
official
Russian. He's
way.
like Fyodor Emelianenko.
Yes, sir. It's Fyodor.
He kills for laughs.
I mean, come on, dude. He doesn't. The man is
All right.
expressionless.
Yeah, that man is a legend, bro. I mean, yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
dude.
he's Vadim Nemkov's coach. So like he's got.
Getting trained by Bad Bad.
You know what I'm saying? So
One of the
Impa
baddest of
better
all
watch
time.
out. That man might be coming for his belt.
Possibly. That's the question, though. So, do all these fights happen next year? And do they all happen at the end of the season like that? Because in that case,
yeah, I'd like to see like
how are they gonna do it?
man,
You know,
we're
there's a lot of
gonna figure
questions.
we're gonna find out. Like we got to definitely do a little more research on this. We'll come back to you guys with some more news about this.
I don't think there's a lot of news out right now about it though, because it just happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig though.
I guess, but a
Gotta
lot
do
of them
some
might just
digging.
be theories.
Yeah.
Until more stuff actually comes out from the PFL, you can't trust everything.
Well, the PFL is pretty transparent. They're really good. I like Don Davis as the head. Like he just seems like a really happy-go-lucky, ready to do anything guy.
He's like, yeah, I like to watch grown men and women beat the crap out of each other, and that's what it is.
Yeah, because the dude was like the Cubs manager in baseball or something, and then like he just seen like the UFC had sold when they sold
Yeah,
as Zufo sold.
yeah.
He saw that they sold for like $4 billion, and he was like, "What? What is this?"
Started my own league.
Yeah, he just like
I think
I don't
they
understand this.
hopefully, and also the rule set. Whose rule set?
They need to change that up.
That's what I'm saying.
PFL
because
needs to put some elbows in there.
First of all, they got to change a couple of things. In my opinion, I think they got to change. Yeah, you can't throw elbows. That's lame. Second off,
Because I think Kayla would have ended that fight a long time ago.
the finishing thing is weird too. Like the point system.
I don't
kinda
like that. They need.
yeah, it's like
they
let's
need to,
just-
they
can we
need
just
to
make it
throw
like
that out the door.
win or lose, and then with rankings.
Yeah, they need to come up with a better rule set than what they do in the UFC. As far as like, they need to come up with a different set of scoring rules. As far as like what scores, like what for the fighters, and like and then like takedowns and
Like how many points they are?
not as far as that, but you know how like they do the 10-point scoring system for the UFC. The
Are
same
you
as
saying
boxing.
even go better than the UFC?
They need to do something better than the
Yeah,
UFC.
for sure.
Go a little bit better. Get rid of that the point system and the finishing and all that because nobody understands that. Nobody gets that. That just doesn't make any sense. Either you win or lose the fight, and then if it comes
that
down
makes
to a
sense.
decision, you should have a good rule set that will just clarify the winner very clearly. And whether because like that's another thing that I don't, and they've gotten better about it, is the holding thing, like holding their opponents and not doing any damage in certain positions.
Yeah.
Like they like to see a little bit more. And like whereas before when I used to watch the PFL, I felt like a lot of these guys were doing that because like it comes down to just winning the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless it comes down to that weird point system where you like have to get a finish to like qualify. I don't think that really makes any sense. I think they should just have a ranking, just like the UFC does and just like Bellator had, and then come up with just a good rule set, like better than what they do for boxing as far as the scoring system, and then put that forward for their neck for.
If they could factor in control time, striking, strikes on the ground,
Kicks.
you know what I mean, and not necessarily put points on them, but statistically, if this let's just say, for example, statistically, if this guy's held this guy down for let's say a minute and a half, and he has more body kicks, he has less head strikes maybe, but he has more leg kicks. Who won the round? I'd say that guy wins the round. Yeah. Maybe he got hit in the head more. Maybe he got busted up.
But just from the control time.
From the control time, and then if he hit him in the.
But then also you got to think about because
more,
like there's different kinds of controls too. It's because there's like cage control, and then there's like ground control.
I wouldn't consider cage control to be more valuable than ground control
because it's.
And I wouldn't consider. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the same level. No. I would say that it's something if somebody's just holding. But then, at the same time, if you're just holding somebody up against the cage and you're not doing damage, it's not. I wouldn't really consider that as because you could just be using that as a rest period.
Yeah.
If you're just holding somebody,
especially for those like title fights that go 5 rounds and stuff like that.
DC always used to say you used to take the 3rd round off or something like that. He said take the 3rd round off, and he'll just like hold somebody,
But yeah, so just kind of moving on, just so we get through this one, the PFL championship. Magomed Karimov beat Saddam Hussein for the 170 champ, which his potential matchup could be. Gosh, I'm trying to get it right off the top of my head because I do know this one.
What weight is it?
Look at it. This is welterweight. Oh yeah, because Yaroslav just lost to Jason Jackson, so Jason Jackson would be his opponent from Bellator.
Oh,
so that would be interesting. That would be pretty interesting
because
Jason
hitters,
Jackson, he's got some dude.
He got some bombs.
Dude, he's got some bombs. I like that the way. I mean, that was. I mean, I feel bad for Armaslav, but that was an ill finish that he did. Those are some no joke punches that my man Armaslav took.
And JP's.
Yeah. Larissa Pacheco, she won against.
That was expected.
Machina, yeah. So she's the 145 champ, which is weird because
where does that put? Back?
Yeah, exactly. Where does that put Chris Cyborg? Is she going to fight Larissa Pacheco, or is she going to fight Kayla Harrison?
She fights Larissa Pacheco.
Because
145,
all Bellator had was a flyweight and a featherweight, so that's a 125 and 145.
Okay. That's those gaps.
Weird
gaps. I guess the thing is you don't have enough
talent there. I guess
there's not enough talent there. There's not enough promotional resources to have that. If you don't have that many fighters, it's.
And I think all those 125ers that were in, because I don't think PFL has a flyweight division. Yeah, all they have is a women's featherweight. Yeah, so they're going to have to make a few different weight classes. Either they're going to they've got to make another women's weight class, and they've at least one. Because they don't have a 135 division either.
Maybe they'll start making more divisions because they have more fighters now, though.
Well, because, like, I mean, where's
Yeah.
that put Sergio Pettis? Because he's the 135 champ. They don't have a 135 division.
They'll probably. I think.
Or
they're
not
gonna
even
make-
Sergio Pettis. It's Patchy Mix now.
Yeah, it's Patchy Mix.
Patchy Mix.
But,
Mix.
Yeah. So I don't know. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with all this.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, but it's gonna take time. You know, like I said, we're not gonna figure it out now, and they're not gonna talk about like. There's so much. When a promotion buys another promotion, you got to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when
We'll get some more information probably come the beginning of next year. And then obviously we had Henan that we talked about that he could be potentially facing Ryan Bader, and Olivier Aubin Mercier is the 155 champ. But then there's a weird situation with
who does 155 division? No.
what's his name was the 155 champ, the Magomedov.
Oh, he popped. No.
Yeah, he popped. Yeah, Usman.
Usman. Yeah. Hey. So what does this say? That's.
I don't know. PFL has
Interesting
had some troubles with
situation,
that
eh?
stuff too.
This
are they-
guy. This guy's
And he was
popping?
the 155 champ too.
Yeah, but it's also this guy, the mountain guy. You wouldn't think one of them
Mountain Man.
would
I mean, I don't know. Those guys always.
pop for something.
What's his name? Always had his questions about that Dan Hooker and these guys.
Bobby Green.
Bobby Green. Yeah, they all have.
Yeah, they're
their-
like, hey, what are they doing? What are they
They're like,
feeding
they've
them?
been-
What are
they've
them eggs eating?
They've been
What are
feeding
they-
them boys since young.
Yeah, what are them eggs? That they're eating because these guys are all ripped, and like big and strong.
I mean, it's just that 155 division. I mean, that whole Dagestani guys, all those guys look like they be on stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, like they have a crazy training regimen and work ethic, but
Don't tell me you're accusing all the Dagestani.
I didn't say that.
He said it.
I didn't say
you
that.
heard what he said?
I didn't say that.
He was like, yo, all of them fools too jacked.
No,
Nah, Saeed
even
is
though the
skinny.
pirate, you seen the pirate from way back in
Yeah.
that dude. What's his
The guy
name
with
again?
the eye,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know,
My
man.
memory is shot.
Whatever. I mean, this man got one eye.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he could fight in the United States.
I don't think he'll ever fight in the United States.
Yeah, so there's, but why? What's the issue with that? Like,
Michael Bisping did it.
I'm just saying you can't. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying like this guy. How is he gonna climb up the ranks if you could only do
God,
things in
I'm
Abu Dhabi?
trying to remember his name. Anyways, let's run by these boxing.
Oh,
fights
boxing
this
news.
last-
Yeah, let's
this-
check out
this
what's good.
past weekend.
got a
So we'll
couple
start
of
with
good
what happened
wins.
in Ireland. Katie Taylor defeats Chantelle Cameron in
Uh-huh.
the rematch.
Were you seeing that coming? I think weren't you saying before?
Yeah,
you
I
weren't?
actually thought, and a lot of people from what I saw had thought Chantelle Cameron was going to take it because I don't know, they didn't.
I was gonna say, isn't that what you said?
I thought, yeah.
Yeah, you thought she was gonna take.
Did you
it.
call, dude? I need to. When we make these calls, we need to point these things. I gotta see which.
What, clip them on the other episodes?
Well, like just to know.
because we
who
talk about it.
Well, because we always make our choices. Sometimes,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think we definitely. I think you said that girl
Yeah,
win, and I was like,
I think you
I
said
think
Katie.
Taylor could do it.
Yeah, I think you said Katie could pull it off. too.
Yeah, because it's like she's been a
But
champ.
I'm just saying, I gotta make note of those so that way, like we know our picks from the last
So maybe we
episode.
have a tally. I told you, you gotta have a tally board. We
Yeah,
just tally it.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with the whiteboard for our picks.
but
Yeah, it was a
so
pretty crazy fight. I watched it. It was grueling.
it's tough.
I didn't love.
A lot of women's fights are really tough because
Oh man, these girls be going at it, man.
You know,
In
it's hard to have
MMA and boxing.
yeah, because it's hard to have super hard knockout power. When you're a lighter weight
Yeah.
anyway, as a man or a woman.
Unless you're Chris Cyborg.
Yeah, unless you're Chris Cyborg or somebody special, but those fights, man. When those girls fight, they get after it.
Oh yeah,
For
no,
real.
those girls fight.
And you're like, damn, man.
Seriously.
This even the Amanda Serrano fight, the last one that she had with this other girl. Do you remember?
Oh
that?
yeah, with the Spanish chick.
Yeah, it's like a Puerto Rican chick. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, she got her.
Yeah, she was
bad,
tagging her up.
man. But anyways, yeah. So Katie Taylor, double champ, huh?
Yeah, so
Saw Conor McGregor.
just
said,
my
"What's
quick
up?"
thoughts on it. Like, I just felt there was a lot of holding.
Oh
There was a little bit of headbutting,
yeah. Oh.
but that's neither here nor there.
I don't say what you gonna say. Say it
I'm
with your
just
chest if
saying.
you gonna say something.
I just felt like it was a little, skewed towards the Irish crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second time in Ireland. Now they're talking
Now we're
about
getting
doing
into it.
Now they're talking about doing a trilogy in Croke Park.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
You don't agree with?
Because it's in Ireland once again.
Once again.
And why can't we just be on neutral ground? Give my girl Chantelle a chance.
Where would you want it? Where would you
put it in Sweden or something? I don't know.
Sweden or something.
Put it in neutral somewhere.
Sweden,
neutral.
yeah, that'd be a good fight in Sweden for the. I don't. But okay, who's the promotion behind it? Was it Top Rank?
Put it in London. That'd be cool.
Is it Top Rank?
No, it's the Zone.
It's the Zone.
Oh, it's Matchroom, I believe, because it's all under Eddie Hearn.
Gotcha. Well, my theory on this is just how I hate to be.
I mean, what do you think though? What do you think about that?
I hate to be the one to say it, man, because it's just.
I mean,
boxing.
she's deserving of it,
of course.
yes, but
yeah.
I mean, now she's
And she's a
two-time
champion.
She's a two-weight undisputed champion. That's great. I think that's awesome. But if we're gonna do a trilogy match, let's do it in some neutral ground.
I'm saying
Because the last two fights, we did one in Ireland, and we come back to the same place to what? To give the belts back? Like, that's what I don't like. It's very, like...
it's one-sided.
It's very pro wrestling-esque. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was about to say, man. Is the boxing thing? It's a lot about the name, and Katie Taylor has a name, and Chantelle doesn't necessarily have as big of. I'm not saying
but I think she's great too. I think she was the one selling the fight this week, because Katie wasn't even showing up to any like interviews or nothing.
She was locked in.
She was locked in, but
Yeah.
and
That's not
rightfully
great for-
so. She lost the last fight, but
But is right or wrong? Is she not the one with the name?
she is. I mean,
She is
she's
the
the
one with the
bigger
name.
draw
Exactly.
in
so
Ireland.
that's just how it is always. It's like what's gonna sell the most to whoever, and that's why they go to Ireland.
I mean, I
'Cause
understand.
they
That's
know that
boxing.
it's gonna be sold out.
Yeah.
First of all, 100%. If you do it wherever neutral ground, you might not. You probably won't.
I mean, that crowd was insane.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what you want.
That
You
crowd
want the
was
big
crazy.
crowds. You want people
Yeah.
excited. You want
I
people
would go,
going crazy.
so I don't care. I mean,
It's just like,
you give me a ticket, I'm going.
of course. But there's a reason they do it that way.
But props to Katie Taylor for
No, it's
getting
not
it done.
fair. But yeah, shout out the new champion. And like I said, I think I saw Conor McGregor being like, "Oh,
You saw, yeah. He
you're
was-
just a proper 12."
yeah, you got that forged Irish stout.
He's like double champion with my sis.
Yeah, I'd love some forged. I want to try one of those.
What?
I don't think they sell them here.
What?
The forged Irish stout.
I don't know.
It's that black beer.
You probably have to find it somewhere special.
That's a man's beer. But yeah, moving on. David Benavidez retains his super middleweight title, well, interim title, against Demetrius Andrade.
This man don't play.
Yeah, you don't, man.
He's tall.
Boo Boo was making jokes this week and trying to be funny, but
That's
should-
super middleweight. You said
yeah. So it's like 168.
160.
It's that Canelo right there. With
That
Canelo.
Canelo.
Right in that Canelo, Dimitri Bivol,
He
right
said-
up in there.
I would be some Lucky Charms.
He's calling for it, man. I think he's
calling
deserving of
for
it.
Huh?
I think he's deserving of it. What do you think?
I think Canelo for sure is looking only for fights that.
I mean, he had a great performance, dude. He was dominating the whole fight.
I mean, that's
mean,
why
this
said
dude
he's a
had
bad
nothing
man,
for
yeah.
him.
He had nothing for him.
And
Like I said, he's tall, he's lanky, he's got that whipping kind of striking
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
So like I said, the Canelo fight is interesting. I don't know though. It's because Canelo, like I said, he's only gonna take big fights,
Yeah, but that's
He's
a big
only-
fight now.
and that's what I think because of that
I
performance.
think he's a big draw, the kid.
It might be able to be big enough where he might actually be able.
Because
to
he's
take that
young,
fight.
too.
He's young. He's coming up. Canelo might think that he's, he could outbeat him, outclass him. So it should be. I don't know. He might take that. He might get that fight. He might not.
Canelo
It's
says,
50-50.
but from what I've heard before, Canelo says I don't think he would ever fight another Mexican, like fighter or something like that.
Oh yeah, is that what he said?
I've heard that.
If
said
the money's
before.
right, he'll do it. It's
Man.
like, come on.
He, I mean, if I think, like I said, I think David's at this point deserving of it. He's deserving of a big name fight. He's made a name for himself, rightfully so, and just being so dominant. I mean, his highlights are crazy.
Yeah.
So, just on the basis of that, I think he's deserving of a Canelo fight at this point because, Canelo can't buy. And granted, I mean, still Canelo's very young, but Canelo's very like
He's getting older though.
he's like
Canelo's
31,
not-
32, dude.
No
super young.
way. He's like 34.
Look it up.
I don't believe this.
Look it up.
This dude just said Canelo.
Maybe 34.
You're tripping.
At this point, maybe the years have gone by. I don't know.
You said 31, 32.
I'm dead for
All right.
Where-
I'll give it to you. He's 33.
So
it's not super far. I mean-
I told you. I was
But
almost on
still,
it. He
at the
just
same
turned
time-
33.
maybe, yeah, he might. Or maybe he's about to turn 34. We don't know. But anyways.
What did it say there? What's the Google
let's see
say?
what it says his birthday is. Then you want to
Google.
talk about
Happy
this?
birthday, Canelo.
I know. Let's see what this dude. July 18th, 1990. Yeah, so he just turned.
Just turned
He
33.
turned 33. All right, yeah.
He's Mike's
pretty
age,
young,
dude.
Yeah, he's pretty young.
He's
Okay.
young.
But still, my
I mean,
statement
he
stands.
has a lot of miles on the clock. You know,
That's
he's got
true.
a lot of miles on the
I
clock.
thought he was older. Okay, so
He's been through a lot of fights, so I'll give. That's probably why it seems that way.
he seems a lot older than.
Yeah, because he's been around for so long. So But
I don't know.
like I said, I think David Benavidez can.
You think he could hook that fight in?
Yeah,
You think
and
he'll
I
get
think I think even if he loses the fight, or if he wins it, I think it could be like a good little rematch trilogy thing there.
I
You
think
know?
something could go on there.
Yeah, because like I said, and I think
got names.
yeah, David's only like 26,
That might spark
so
the interest.
super young. He was
Yeah,
like the
super
youngest middleweight champion at 20 years old when he won it.
Yeah, so
Super young.
Maybe. We'd have to see, man. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, they're probably whatever they do, they're gonna do it. And if they do have that fight, it's gonna be in Canelo's favor.
Yeah.
However,
Well, he's gonna be the A side for sure.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Well,
But
that was fun
Good
fight.
stuff.
That was
Congrats to Benavidez on the win.
congrats,
Congrats
my
on
man.
becoming the new chomp.
Serious. Well, he retained it, so. But
Oh,
it's
sorry,
like
my bad.
my man is
Being
two
the
time.
chomp.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Two-time.
this guy is on it, bro.
times.
So he don't really got much competition around. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
He ain't looking at too much more. He's just looking up. you know
Maybe
what
I
I'm
say
saying? So,
if they do the Canelo fight, they'll probably give him one fight before that,
possibly.
and he'll have to prove.
Because I'm not
himself
sure
again.
what Canelo's schedule is looking like, but we'll look into that one of these days.
Yeah, I don't know if Canelo has upcoming fights.
But so looking to the future this weekend,
Oh,
we got
snap.
a sneaky good card, man.
Yo,
Sneaky good card.
I can't believe this card.
Yeah,
That's what I
like
heard. It's-
we were running it down a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, and I was like, wait, who versus who
Shit.
versus who versus who?
Shit.
I turned into an owl.
Who?
Who? It was crazy, but I don't know, man.
And we got a crowd too in Austin, Texas.
Think about it. It's
finally,
not,
we're
it's
out
not
of the
even
Apex.
a pay-per-view.
But yeah, it's gonna be a fun card.
It's
gonna
not
be
even a
fun card.
pay-per-view, which is nice. I always like when they have crowds and it's not a pay-per-view.
So should we run up from the prelims or down from the main card?
You tell me what's exciting on there from the get-go.
All right, so we'll just run down the guys that we don't know much of. So the prelims, obviously, we're gonna start from the bottom. But one that we do know, which I know, which I'm pretty hyped for, which I think she's doing a great job, is Veronica Hardy versus Jamie Lynn Horth. I think maybe Jamie Lynn is making a debut or something, but Veronica Hardy's coming off that win off of Juliana Miller. She was
okay.
the tough winner.
Yeah. She's a
And
tough chick.
yeah, she was looking good before that, but Veronica Hardy put a stop to that. And that's Dan Hardy's girl,
What's that? 125.
wife. I believe so. Yeah. Straw weight. So yeah, look out for that fight. That should be that's opening it up. That's opening up the
should be a
prelims.
tough. Was that the first card?
Yep. First card on the prelims. So
dang.
shout out Veronica.
I bet you it's
wishing
gonna be
good luck.
fireworks.
Yeah, it's
Tell
gonna
you.
be a good one because she's on it. You know.
She go hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, these ladies, man, you gotta watch out for these lady fights, yo. Because these ones,
They be scrapping.
they step on the
dude.
gas.
Look what happened with Amanda Hebos and Luana Pinedo.
And yeah, I mean,
Who knew that
I
was
could
coming?
bring that back. Yeah, that fight was wild, bro.
Who knew that was coming? That was wild.
That was such a crazy
Straw
comeback.
weights. Little girls,
Some big shots though.
big shots.
They were throwing some big shots. So hopefully this
Foot to the
fight,
face.
delivers just as that fight did.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm hoping for them.
Then we got coming off of that, and we know a couple of these guys. So Wellington Turman, Jared Gooden.
Okay, Jared Gooden.
Yeah, Jared Gooden. He's
That's
a stud. That dude is strong. That
It's
dude's
funny though because
big boy.
he's knocked some people out with some very unconventional,
very
moves,
weird
man.
shots.
That's not like the one where he's like,
Yeah,
And then
you remember that?
like it's like
He still got it though,
6 inches.
He got it,
and
though.
he punches this dude, and it's almost like a reactionary punch. And,
and I think he didn't even mean to do that.
No,
It
and he's
just-
had some wins. I think he's lost like once or twice recently, or something like
yeah,
that.
he's still pretty green.
Yeah, he's growing up in the game in terms of.
But Wellington
he's still pretty
Turman-
young too.
And Wellington
Pretty sure.
Turman, he's gonna put that Brazilian
It's gonna
jiu-jitsu
be-
on him. He's
It's
gonna.
gonna be tough, you know,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be kind of
I
like
think
more of a
he-
striker
I-
versus.
If I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to be wrong, I think he comes out of the Connecticut camp, out of there over there with Powhatan.
Oh really?
I think so.
With Glover?
I believe so. So
Well, I mean, if you want to come out of
yeah, I
a
think he's over there with
camp that produces champions, I
Glover
mean,
and them.
that's certainly one of them.
So yeah, he's definitely a beast. Then we got Rodolfo Bellato versus Ihor Potieria. We seen Ihor before. I think he lost his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really look into his record. We got Steve Garcia versus Melquizael Costa. That's that dude that has kind of like the I don't want to get the
Oh, the skin pigmentation thing.
yes,
Oh, the guy with the he has some colorful hair as
and
well.
he has some like
That guy's a character.
yeah, he has some crazy moves.
Yeah.
But Steve Garcia is a no joke. Like my man is
You know,
is a grind
as much as I
grind
like,
axe.
what's that guy's name?
wrestler.
Costa.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's a cool character. He's got to be careful because he's one of those kind of he
He's
uses
a little
some
wild.
unconventional methods.
yeah.
And sometimes that could pay off for you, but you know you got to be careful if somebody's really solid in their fundamentals.
Yeah, and I don't know. Steve Garcia just seems like just a blue collar, hard working
He ain't messing
dude.
around.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's 145.
I think it's 155.
155.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we got Drakkar Close versus Joe Selecki.
Okay,
we haven't seen
Drakkar.
Close in a while, and I haven't seen much
We
of
haven't-
Joe either.
Well, because remember Jakar got injured that one time. He was out for a little bit.
Yeah, he's been out for a bit.
because he got pushed by.
That's right.
You remember? I don't think it's the same. This is the same. He's fought after that.
He
but
had a fight
with
scheduled.
Steven or yeah, it was was it who pushed him? It's the guy that Conor McGregor was like, who the fuck is that guy? That guy.
Oh, Jeremy Stevenson.
Jeremy Stevenson,
you're
exactly. Remember
right.
he pushed him in the thing and he hurt him.
Yeah.
And I don't think they called off that
They
fight.
called
'cause he
off
couldn't
that fight, and then he ended up going to like BKFC or something.
Yeah.
Or no, I think he fought in the
In Bellator.
Gamebreds
Oh,
promotion.
okay.
I think he ended up
Bare
fighting
knuckle
there.
MMA.
Yeah. But moving on, then we have Jack Reese. I think he's making a debut versus Cody Brundage. I think Cody Brundage is coming off a loss.
Jack Reese versus Cody Brundage. So this guy's debuting against Cody Brundage.
Yeah.
Damn, man, they really throw people to tough like.
But Cody Brundage is been going through some tough guy. Like he's been getting put
Yeah,
through
he's
the
been
ringer
getting
too,
he's been getting a little beat, but
He's been getting put through the grinder.
but he's also experienced,
Yeah,
and he's also had some good wins where maybe he got a couple licks, but
yeah.
he came back and maybe submitted somebody.
I
or knocked
forgot who
somebody
he
out.
lost to the last time, but I know it wasn't like the competition was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
so he's kind of getting a debut guy. So he's kind of going.
yeah,
down the
hopefully,
competition.
like, cause I don't know, he could be getting cut too. Like,
I'm saying though, we'll
because the
see how-
UFC, bro, like they don't play, man.
after a couple fights.
Yeah, if you're like on that win loss thing, like they don't really like that kind of stuff. They like to see you on an upwards trajectory.
I mean,
you know.
the thing is though, it depends.
Unless you
because-
got that name,
Exactly. Some fighters just have a certain thing where fans love them no matter what their record
Yeah,
is. So if you get that, which I don't really know how you attain that besides.
I like Cody Brundage.
Just be yourself. Yeah, I think Cody Burns is a good
I
fighter.
like the
so
character too.
I'm saying that that's just a tough test for this guy Jack Reese. Even if he's. I mean, I know Cody Burns has obviously been going.
I haven't seen. They don't even have a picture on the thing, so I don't.
I'm sure, yeah, because he's
I'm
probably.
sure I've
pretty
seen him
good.
before. Maybe
I'm
he
sure
was
he
on a
has a couple
contender
amateur
series or
fights or
something. And
something.
even this dude that we mentioned before, Rodolfo Bellato, I wanted to say he was on contender series too. Most of these guys now that you don't know are coming off contender series. So
That's true. And the contender series, man,
Man,
brings some
those-
tough competition.
they're-
Man.
those are some tough fights, man. When they be having those on Tuesdays, I'll be looking forward to those just as much as I do the weekend fights, man.
Because they're fighting for real, trying to get the contract.
Yeah, and there's a
They want
lot
that
of
finish.
They be getting a lot of finishes.
They
man.
try to get the finish,
Yeah.
and even sometimes you get an all right finish, you might not get the contract.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
It's not very often.
If you get a finish and it's like it's not some weird stuff that goes
it's
on.
pretty dominant.
Yeah,
You'll most likely get a contract.
yeah, you're most likely. But if it's like one of those 3-rounders, they'll.
But even if you're a character, you can still get a contract if they like you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you can lose a fight. That's happened too. But
Yeah.
Contending series definitely produced some interesting prospects.
Yeah. And then we got Miesha Tate coming back after a while.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus. Versus Julia Avila. I think I've seen one of Julia's fights before. I think she's relatively green in the UFC. But Miesha Tate, hopefully she can
Former
get her win.
champ, yo.
Yeah,
I know she suffered a loss her last time out.
Who'd she lose to? She lost a bad one too. I think it was like.
I think it was wasn't it Yan Shandan?
Was it Yan? No. Look it up so we're not wrong. I want to say it was Marina Rodriguez, but no, it might not be. Somebody got her pretty good.
Let's see.
Because she got her face tatted up from that last fight. That's the reason why she's been out for a while.
That's why I think she can definitely rise to the occasion for this. Okay, so she lost to Lauren Murphy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lauren was giving it to her though. It was weird because like she was just working that jab. I remember watching that fight, and I was like so surprised because.
You think that Miesha Tate was going to get it?
I thought Miesha Tate would get it, and then she just couldn't find an entrance in that fight, and like she just kept eating them. Her face looked like she had been through a hornet's nest or something. But yeah, hopefully Miesha can make her comeback against this girl, Julia Avila. But most of the time, a lot of the times with these, green fighters and new fighters, they're coming for it, especially against a name like Miesha Tate. Who knows, man? So,
like I said, it's never an easy fight. I mean, anybody.
And I'm sure. I think Miesha is like probably up there in age now.
I don't think she's crazy. She's probably 36.
Yeah, I think she's probably up there. And actually, really for women, that's not like it's different. For guys,
I think you could fight longer, but there's a lot of factors. Depends. You know?
That's for everybody, right?
Yeah, But she did take a lot of time off.
Yeah, I think it's been a year and some change. Probably.
No, I'm saying even before that when she.
Oh yeah, she'd had like a year or two before.
But that might kind of be in her favor because sometimes if you don't take as much damage as a fighter, you're not going so hard. You might be a little bit older, but your body isn't broken down as somebody. Let's say like we were talking about Canelo, like it feels like he's old because he's been through a lot of fights.
Yeah.
But. Sometimes that time off can kind of almost extend your career.
Yeah, it could. It really depends on how they do on that off time, what they do on that off time,
Yeah. We'll see how she does this fight. I'm rooting for her for sure.
For sure. All the time.
I think she wins too.
Miesha Tate's the best. Then we got Clay Guida and Joaquim Silva. So Clay Guida's always fighting these young guns. You know what I'm saying? But he usually does well against them, and I'm telling you, he is
an animal.
He holds the floodgates of all these like young fighters. Like, there's not many. If you can get past Clay Guida, and I think he's like he's probably like maybe 40.
He's in his 40s, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 40, maybe 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man's a beast, yo.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fight. Sometimes when fighters are a little bit older, they're more conservative with their energy.
Yeah.
But not him.
Nah.
He fights like
that dude is
like if he's making his debut and he's trying to take you down.
That dude is like a running fire, bro.
He just has so much energy and cardio.
Yeah.
Fight, so I think if you like you said, if you could beat Clay Guida, then it says something about what kind of fighter you are and what you're able to handle.
Because if you can hold like back,
I mean, him as a legend.
That dude has like such an onslaught. Like when he just throws everything.
And he's been around for
from everywhere, and he's wrestling and he's throwing and he's punt. It's just when you're fighting Clay Guida, you're in a fight. So
no, for real. So,
but
if nothing else, it's gonna be an interesting.
Oh hell yeah!
Pretty high paced.
Anytime,
what I'm guessing.
Anytime Clay Guida is on the card, bro, I gotta watch that fight. No matter who he's fighting.
Yeah.
It's just Clay Guida's a fun fight.
I know, and you never know when it's gonna be his last performance.
You never do, because especially with the last time he was like he played it off. I think he like wished his mother happy birthday or something like that.
He's a character.
Yeah, we love Quaguita. But on to the main card, man. On to this crazy
This is
main
where
card.
things
Yeah,
get
we lost
really
a fight.
exciting.
We lost one fight, but all good.
What
It
fight
got
did we
it got
lose?
replaced very well. We'll get to it. But starting from the bottom, Punahele Soriano versus Dustin Stolfutz.
That's gonna
yeah,
be
Puna's
people
a
throwing
bad dude.
bombs the whole time.
Yeah.
Because Punahele Soriano, that man,
I think Dustin's
He's a
more of
brawler.
like a wrestling jiu-jitsu artist, kind of grappling guy.
yeah, Stoltz I think is more technically sound.
I think, and man, I was watching this this interview that Joe Pfeiffer had with Ariel today. Man, he wants this guy so bad, Dustin, because he broke his arm. I think like I don't know if it was like on the outer scene or something like that.
Oh, Dustin Stoltz was broke Bo Mickle's arm.
Joe Pfeiffer's.
He broke.
Did I say Bo Nickel?
I think he said Bo Nickel.
Well, he had a sorry. Well,
You talking about Joe Pfeiffer?
yeah, I'll talk about Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer wants to fight.
What's that Stoltz
Yeah,
boots?
yeah, he wants that back
Well,
because
we're
I
gonna
think
see
he
if-
like broke his arm or something in an exchange in like a mat return, and Joe Pfeiffer is just like, oh,
He's like, I want you.
and Joe Pfeiffer's mean dude. Yeah,
But that fight, like I said, it's gonna be
bombs. being
yeah,
thrown.
because like I said, Punahele is a brawler.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be
So-
surprised if that fight gets
I
somebody-
feel like that might end a little bit.
ends early. Yeah.
You know, either way, by submission maybe from Stoltz Foods or by, just a straight TKO from Punahele.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could see a TK. I could definitely.
That's probably
see
what I
it.
put my money on.
KO to TKO from
'Cause
Puna.
that's the thing. Punahele, he's had some really difficult fights and a lot of tests.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like what we go back to. I mean, the UFC, man, they put you through the grinder, man.
well, there's
Tough fights.
most of their talent,
Especially in
is-
that, I think it's a 185 or 205.
I think it's
No,
185.
185. Yeah, 185.
But there's big guys at 185.
Dude, these guys.
And Punahele is not necessarily the biggest 185.
Yeah. So then we have Sean Brady, Kelvin Gastelum.
All right.
What you
Sean
think?
Brady.
What you think?
I don't know.
Sean
It's-
Brady coming off his first loss to
Bilal
Bilal Muhammad and
Shout out to that performance by Mr. Muhammad. That was
Kelvin was
Beautiful.
supposed. I forgot who he was supposed to fight, and he got injured. He got like a cut or something.
Imavov.
Was it Imavov?
Nasruddin Imavov, remember, I think? And then Sean Strickland stepped in like 9 days' notice.
That's right. Yeah,
Sean
that's
Strickland?
right. Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
that's what it was.
So he hasn't fought last since
Because I
Curtis
thought it was
Jackson.
at 170.
Um,
Because now this fight is at 170 because Kelvin made his return to
He was
170.
moving down. Well, his last fight at 185, I'm pretty sure, was Curtis Jackson, which is no easy fight.
Curtis Jackson.
Action Jackson? Sean Strickland's buddy?
Chris Curtis, you mean?
Chris Curtis. I'm messing these names so bad. I'm like, Curtis Jackson.
Curtis Jackson. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's Curtis Jackson?
I'm like, Sean Brickland.
But yeah, he had a fight. I think he fought. Man, he need to run this one real quick.
Oh no, let's see this Kevin Gastelum. Let's talk about this. What do you think about this fight?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is Sean Brady is solid. I think he had. I don't think he was expecting that kind of fight from Bilal.
I don't think anybody was.
Yeah, I don't think nobody was, honestly. You're right. He did fight Chris Curtis.
Yeah, he fought Chris Curtis and he
Yes.
lost.
And then before that, he fought. Oh no, he was supposed to fight Cannonier. But yeah, he was supposed to fight Cannonier. I guess that ended up getting canceled because he got injured, and then he fought Chris Curtis. Oh, I'm not, dude. This is weird because he hasn't fought since that fight versus Chris Curtis was back
Last
in
year.
April.
Yeah,
No, this year.
but it's,
And the Cannonier fight was in 21.
exactly.
So he didn't fight all 22. And then he only has fought once since. And I'm pretty sure, he had a fight.
Because the Chris Curtis fight was, like I said,
It was a 3-rounder.
yeah, and it was a war. It wasn't just like, oh,
No,
they
it
were
wasn't
grappling.
easy.
They were battling. That's it takes a lot. And that's also the type of fighter that Kevin Gastelum is. You know, when
Yeah.
he fights, he's fighting. You know, like somebody either you or him is gonna get badly hurt.
Yeah, because I mean,
You know, so
and I don't
sometimes when
think
you're
he's
that type of
too.
fighter.
I don't think he's that old.
Plus, isn't it the first time he's? Or no, he's going back down to 170.
Yeah,
He
so
used
he's
to be
going back
170,
down to 170.
which I
So
think is really
I think
what he
that's
should
more
fight
his
at.
weight class. I
For
think
sure.
I think before, it was a different era. Guys weren't as big as they were,
Even
and
then,
the
though,
whole
he's
weight cutting
never.
thing wasn't like
Yeah.
as solidified as it is now. So I think he's probably getting down to the weight probably better. I mean, he should look good against Sean Brady. I mean,
I don't know, man. Sean Brady is a tough challenge, and
damn, there are no odds on there, so it's like a pick 'em.
but that's what I'm saying because, like I said, Kevin
Because
Gastelum,
Sean is good everywhere.
he's gonna put the fire on him. Okay. Sean Brady is coming off his first loss, which could make him a little bit, could make him better, or it could make him a little bit more shy. Because sometimes that happens, especially when you get TKO.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think Sean Brady will probably get it by some sort of submission.
Yeah, I can see
Probably
that
like
happening.
third or fourth round after they kind of fought it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. But that's a really, like I said, that fight.
Yeah,
is very, very.
I
very
favor.
fun.
I'll probably favor Sean in that fight, but that's Kelvin's a tough out for anybody.
It's up in the air.
Yeah, but on to the next one. We got Davidson making his debut at 135 versus Rob Font. So that's definitely pretty interesting because Davidson, he throws bombs, baby.
His 135 debut, eh?
Yeah, he hasn't fought since the Moreno fight, the trilogy, and that was the beginning of this year. So it's been pretty much all year. But I'm pretty excited to see him at 135 because I always felt that he was like huge for 125. Like the dude, like you could tell in those cuts. Like I would watch it embedded, I'd be like, this guy is like the majority of what he's doing is cutting weight. Like like to try just to get to the weight 125. Like he is just so shredded, and
For sure. He would always wear sunglasses to the press conferences,
Yeah.
and he kind of always looked a little bit sucked down. So
yeah.
hopefully at 135, he's gonna keep his speed.
And
Rob
Rob
And
cuts a
the
lot.
power.
Rob cuts a lot too. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
he's
he's a
pretty
big
big guy, too.
135er. Like he could fight if he really wanted to. He could fight at
145.
yeah.
I think he's all right at 135, but I think the 135 would. Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really, really. hard
But
debut,
Rob is coming off a
135.
big win too.
I know. Who did he beat recently?
He just lost.
No, he lost to who?
Lost to Corey,
He said he thought
but he had a big win
before that.
over Yanez, Adrian Yanez.
Yeah, he had a big win. But you got to think about the loss. You got to think about what most recently happened to him because that's
Yeah.
how they're coming into the fight.
And that was a 5-rounder.
Exactly.
Yeah. But Corey has gotten. I mean, Corey is on another level. So
For
I
sure.
mean, Corey's right there, up ready for a title.
Yeah. Hopefully we see that man in a title picture
Yeah.
soon.
And then this was the one that we lost, but ended up getting replaced with a pretty good one. We lost my man Dan Hooker, and we ended up getting Jalen Turner versus Bobby Green, which is going to be pretty excited because Jalen Turner. I mean, I've always liked him. I think he just recently.
You got to finish.
Yeah, because he won. He beat. Oh no, he lost
Oh, no.
versus
yeah.
Dan Hooker.
He lost to Dan Hooker. Whoa, was this supposed to be
But
a
he
rematch?
won over Brad Riddell. And then
okay.
Oh yeah, he did have that fight. Did he fight? Did he end up
He
fighting
no,
Gamrat?
He fought Dan Hooker, but he lost.
Yeah, he lost
He
to
lost
Dan
the
Hooker.
decision. But so this was supposed to be a rematch between them?
Oh, did the Gamrot fight get stopped or something?
I don't know, man. This Gamrot fight, you got me lost.
Gamrot versus Jalen Turner.
No, but I know, but
Sorry, I'm just
that's what I'm
throwing it
saying.
into
Yeah,
the
like
equation.
where are we going? The thing is with the Bobby Green versus Jalen Turner. Bobby Green is quick, yo. And
Yeah,
Bobby Green got
yeah.
the hands.
And dude, he's just coming off of that that Dawson win.
Oh, that's right.
And that was like super unexpected, dude. He took him out in 33 seconds. Like that was crazy.
So, I don't know. And then Jalen Turner, he's a tough guy. He has a long reach. You know, he's 155. I know that cut is no joke for that dude. I mean, I don't know what his walking around weight is, but to be 6'3" and cut down to 155.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Yeah, that dude cuts a lot of weight, probably.
Yeah. And Bobby Green seems like he doesn't cut that much weight.
Yeah, he's like 185 or something like that, 170
Yeah,
something.
cut 20, 30 pounds.
But yeah, he's coming off of 2 good wins, off of Grant Dawson and off of Tony Ferguson. So, you know,
Let's see how that goes.
yeah, we'll see how that goes because I don't know. I kind of now.
He'll probably mostly be standing.
I almost favor Bobby Green in this one because Bobby's been looking great.
Me too, man. He's confident.
He's powerful. He's very strong. Dude, just got some power behind him punches, man. If he gets you.
And he has that weird style where he keeps his hands down.
Yeah.
You know, he's not. You can't really. It's hard to find somebody to train with you that fights like Bobby Green.
Yeah. He's just all over the place. So
he's all over the place, and then he got. And that's the thing too. He beat Tony Ferguson by submission, so.
Yeah,
You know,
you got to remember that. Yep.
Even though Turner might have the advantage on the ground because he's longer,
Yeah.
he might be a little bit stronger. But like I said, the cut makes a big difference.
And on to the main event, dude. Beneil versus Arman. What do you think?
Yeah, Arman Tsarukyan, man. He was the first man.
Tough dude, man.
That gave this man Islam a little bit of problems when they fought.
Tough dude, man.
Besides the loss that Islam had that one time, but
Yeah, he just beat that dude Joaquim Silva, I believe. Yeah, he just beat Joaquim Silva, which is the Clay Guida fight. And then before that he beat Ismagulov. And before that he lost to Gamrot.
Yeah.
Which was like that was an up in the air fight. Like either one of those two dudes could have won that fight.
Yeah. So Tsarukyan is a real contender in the 155, man.
And Beneil's just coming off that loss from Charles. Yeah.
That was pretty devastating.
But he beat Gamrot.
He did beat Gamrot, but
and that wasn't the most exciting fight, obviously, but
it's always interesting when somebody comes back from losing a fight. But for me, it's always almost nerve-wracking when somebody comes back from a really devastating knockout.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Because then you're watching it and you're like, is he working the same? You know,
is he being hesitant?
Is he looking kind of hesitant and nervous?
Well, Beneil's the underdog and Arman is the favorite. So
I don't know if I even would say that though, because Beneil Dariush is also, you know, he was on a streak before he lost.
Yeah, dude, Arman Tsarukyan though, he's a tough dude, man.
He's tough. He's
pretty
contender.
tough, man.
He's coming up, you know. But like I said,
I just feel like a lot of those
Dariush
guys.
Is no slouch.
Yeah, I feel like well, Dariush, he also be looking like he cuts a lot. A lot of these dudes at lightweight, they be cutting a lot of weight, I feel. But, yeah, that's like a pick-em fight too, man.
Could be either way on that one, eh?
Because I could see either one of the guys winning by submission, and then I could see either one of the guys, like, TKOing. And then I could see it also going 5 rounds. Like, there's a lot of different ways this fight can go.
I could see it just going all 5 rounds and probably Tsarukyan taking it by decision. That's probably what I would guess.
And you think he takes that number 4 spot from Beneil?
I think so, just because he's younger. Not that Beneil is super old, but he's younger. Like I said, he's powerful. He's not coming back from such a knockout. Yeah. But I mean, I could be wrong. Like I said, I know Beneil has it on the floor for sure.
They're definitely giving him this fight to see if he can pass this test, you know, to get him up into those.
Oh, for sure.
Like top 5 rankings, you know. Mm-hmm. So if
he
it goes well, you know, it could go. You know, he could be up there in the.
He could be
rankings.
1 fight away from a title shot.
1 or 2 fights. Yep, for sure.
If he wins that, but no, it's another thing though. He has to win in an impressive fashion.
Oh yeah, it can't be a 5 round. It can't be a 5 round decision. Yeah, because I could definitely, if it goes to 5 round decision, he's definitely probably going to get another 2 fights.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but
they wouldn't give it to him unless he finished.
But hopefully it goes well for him and he can get a finish and make it look good. You know what I'm saying? So
we'll see, man.
But that's our Austin, Texas card.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the only last thing I just wanted to give a little bit of give a look at was the Ryan Garcia. He's gonna be same night he'll be fighting Oscar Duarte. That's coming off his first loss to Gervonta.
This is what we're talking about for the next episode, yeah.
Well, this is for this weekend, so.
Oh, this is happening this weekend.
Yeah, it's happening this
Gotcha.
weekend, so might as well just get it in here.
Gotcha.
Just give us our quick thoughts. He's coming off his first loss. Duarte only has one loss, and I believe either one draw. And he's back at 140, so this is his more natural weight.
Yeah, because he cut a lot for the Davis fight.
Yeah, so he was pretty sucked down for that. And then there was also like a rehydration clause too.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So which was weird. So hopefully he can get
Well, he has a name, and
his name back in the win column. And
I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he has to just clean up a couple of things defensively,
yeah.
and then I think he could, really do some damage in that division.
I'm excited to see him because I think he's a star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he has certain
So-
character about him. I mean, say what you will about him, either way.
He's very young, and I think there's a lot
got
of
time to progress. Like I said, he's super fast.
and he took a big chance on that
yeah,
fight,
and it
man.
wasn't.
And-
And like I said, with the boxing thing, it's always one person's favor. It was definitely in Tank's favor.
And honestly, dude, I think if it wasn't for that fight happening, we wouldn't be having all these fights now. Because that was like one of the fights that kicked off like all these great fights that we had.
like the Terrence Crawford versus freaking Errol Spence.
Yeah.
Or even the Tyson Fury versus
Yeah,
Francis Ngannou.
That made people want to just like make fights,
Maybe. I mean, it could be,
So,
though.
I mean, look what we're gonna be having in Riyadh here soon too.
We'll see. I'll give it to Ryan Garcia, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Duarte's no slouch, but
Yeah,
I think Ryan Garcia could do it with the speed. Like I said, if he just cleans up his defense just a little bit and, works on those power punches.
yeah, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him do well in this fight and look good. So let's hope for the best, Ryan. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. And just for next week, we're probably gonna just be recapping the Texas card, recapping obviously Ryan's card. Then we might preview a little bit of Song Yadong, Chris Gutierrez.
Okay.
That's for December 9th. And
Exciting.
then also December 9th, we have Haney versus Prograis.
Okay.
So that's probably what we're going to
We'll
be
see Mr.
covering
Regis
next
and Mr.
time.
Haney.
Yep. Fun stuff on the Kick and Punch. We'll catch you guys next time.
All right.
Peace, y'all.